Let's now talk Fortnite, shall we? It's the newest video game craze spreading across fast among kids, college kids, even celebrities. And while it's fun, it is also frustrating for parents and teachers and anyone else who's heard, I can't, I'm playing Fortnite.
Imagine this. It's just you. Nothing but your bare hands and the clothes on your back. You're dropped into a strange land, and everyone is out to kill you. Your only objective is to survive. Weapons, armor, bandages. You scavenge houses and take what you need. The herd thins. The world around you shrinks, and you find yourself closer and closer to the enemy. By whatever means necessary, your only goal is to be the last man standing. This is a fight to the death. This is the Battle Royale.
People have to kill each other. The island they're on shrinks, and if you have to be the last man standing when it's over.
It's similar to the Hunger Games because strategic thinking is needed in order to survive.
It seems like it's maturing into an international sport.
They're sponsored.
Yeah.
They have careers.
Yeah.
They make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Here's the problem.
I'm going to start playing.
Kids are addicted to this now.
This is a viral game.
Since the genre exploded last year with the rise of PUBG, there is no shortage of 100-player Battle Royale games.
It is incredibly addictive. It has been likened to something like heroin.
How do you guys like this game so fucking much?
The result is a tight, focused, no-frills
A
experience.
zany, over-the-top style and a unique blend of shooting and building.
A blast of a competitive experience.
And where no two games are ever alike.
The Battle Royale genre traces its roots back to Japan. In 1999, author Koshun Takami released his novel Battle Royale. The book follows 100 junior high school students who are placed on an evacuated island and told that the last person alive will be allowed to leave. Given weapons, basic rations, and no rules of engagement, the students do whatever it takes to survive, which usually means killing everyone in their path. A year later, in 2000, the novel was adapted into a film. Directed by Kinji Fukasaku, the film brought all of the violence and horror of the novel to real life. Western audience will likely be familiar with this last man standing concept. American author Suzanne Collins released her novel trilogy, The Hunger Games, in 2008, and it quickly became a hit around the world. Although not directly associated with the Japanese version, the two share many similarities. Dystopian societies governed by totalitarian regimes, young adults thrust into hostile environments, and one condition for escape: survive. The first of Collins' novels was turned into a movie in 2012, and that was the same year that the first video game decided to take on the Battle Royale idea. Minecraft Hunger Games, later renamed to Minecraft Survival Games, dropped players into an open world with nothing but their bare hands. From there, players would scour the environment to find food, weapons, armor, and other resources to help them survive. Staying alive is no simple task, and with every player fighting for their survival, you're forced to either kill or evade anyone who crosses your path. If you make it to the end as the last man standing, congratulations, you've won the game. Soon after Minecraft Survival Games' release, a dedicated community sprung up around the mod. But despite the mod's cult following, it was still a very bare bones experience, and it would take other developers years to flesh out the last man standing idea completely. In the meantime, another genre was starting to become popular, and it played a pivotal role in laying the groundwork for the eventual creation of the Battle Royale genre. On February 21st, 2013, a mod for the military shooter Arma 2 was released. Developed by modder Dean Hall, the game was called DayZ, and it put players into the fictional world of Chernarus, which is full of zombies, loot, and other players. The mod was described as, quote, a multiplayer open-world survival third-person shooter. It was basically a hyper-realistic MMO. In order to survive, players had to eat food and drink water, bandage injuries and set broken bones, and do their best to stay alive while navigating a barren wasteland filled with hostile zombies and other players. What DayZ did differently than nearly every other game on the market was to give players almost complete agency over their own actions and decisions. This resulted in DayZ being carried by an emergent narrative. The story of DayZ wasn't written by an author, it was written by the players. Everyone in Chernarus is trying to survive, just like you. They need food, they need medical supplies, and they need weapons. And if they have to kill you to get it, then they're entitled to do so. There were no rules of engagement in DayZ, no game mechanic that says you can't attack this person. Everything and everyone was fair game, and this led to truces being formed, friendships being broken, and a tension that permeated every moment of the in-game world. And one modder wanted to turn this tension into an entire game. Irish-born Brendan Green was enamored with the organic player interactions that took place in DayZ. He wanted to take that feeling of running into a hostile group of players and getting into a gunfight and make it happen again and again and again, to build an environment where encounters would happen more frequently and with higher intensity. So he began working on an Arma 2 mod of his own. Titled DayZ Battle Royale, Green's idea was to build a segmented version of DayZ's indefinite survival experience. Rather than a permanent world, DayZ BR was separated into individual games, dropping players into the map with nothing, leaving them to scavenge and fight until one person is left standing. Green's mod would introduce many gameplay elements that would eventually become staples of the genre.
So you pump in some hours, your fit is pimp, your arsenal's stacked. All right, well, now what? DayZ just kind of falls into a deathmatch. Only thing to do, I guess, is kill other people. Hey, what's up? No!
The original DayZ mod was a huge success, so much so that in December 2013, it went live as a standalone title. This led to a decline in the popularity of Green's Battle Royale mod, prompting him to begin porting it to Arma 3. However, at the same time, Sony Online Entertainment, now renamed Daybreak Games, saw the potential in the Battle Royale genre and hired Green to help them implement the game mode into their own survival game, H1Z1. In February 2016, with Green as a consultant, H1Z1 split into two distinct modes, Just Survive and their brand new BR mode, King of the Kill. In just a few months, King of the Kill became one of the most popular games in the world and topped the viewership charts on Twitch. King of the Kill was also the first standalone Battle Royale game to be released. During the period from 2014 to 2016, studios saw the potential in the Battle Royale genre and began trying to cash in. Rust, The Culling, Unturned, Ark, tons of independent BR games were being developed, each trying to stand out from the pack by introducing some kind of twist to the established formula. Whether it was dinosaurs, MOBA mechanics, or just appealing to casual players, everyone wanted their game to be the barrier for entry. But like most fads, many of these games flared into being and then faded out just as quickly, with players jumping ship when the next Battle Royale was released, and no game gaining a consistent player base. And this trend only accelerated into the next year. 2017 saw titles like Rules of Survival, Warface, Knives Out, Free Fire, Survival Royale, and tons of others being released en masse. But you probably haven't heard of most of these games I just listed, right? Well, that's because something else happened in 2017. Something that completely changed the playing field. With so many studios clamoring to become the Battle Royale, a Korean company called Bluehole Games had the same goal in mind. So Bluehole producer Chang-Han Kim began doing some research, and everywhere he looked, he kept coming across a familiar name, Brendan Green. So Kim invited him to visit Bluehole Studios in Korea, and within a month, Green was hired on as the project's creative director. Their goal was to create the definitive Battle Royale experience and set 2017 as the release date for their game. This is probably a good time to mention something about Brendan Green. Through his time as a modder for Arma and a consultant for H1Z1, he didn't always go by his real name. In online forums, he went by an alias, one you've probably heard of before, Player Unknown. Yes, that Player Unknown. Since 2013, Brendan Green had been responsible for building two of the biggest Battle Royale experiences ever made, DayZ Battle Royale and King of the Kill. Now, he was working on a new project called Player Unknown's Battleground. The game went through alpha and beta, going into early access on March 23rd. Throughout the development process, YouTubers, Twitch personalities, and top-level gamers were playing and giving Bluehole constructive feedback, all while streaming the game's process to a massive online following. Expectations were high for the game, but when it finally released on December 20th, 2017, PUBG blew expectations out of the water. Within the first 3 days, the game had made $11 million, Within a month, it had sold 1 million copies, and by September of 2018, 10 million copies of PUBG had been sold. The game broke Dota 2's record for most concurrent players, climbing to over 3 million at once, and for months, PUBG was the #1 streamed game on Twitch. And for good reason. PUBG was a streamer's paradise. It had a high skill cap, it was unpredictable, it was chock full of clippable moments, and it had enough downtime during games that streamers could actually interact with their audience. Few genres can hold consistent viewership the way that Battle Royales do, and PUBG specifically is where some of the biggest Twitch personalities today became superstars. Dr. Disrespect, Ninja, Shroud, Summit1G. These players not only top the leaderboard in games, they top the charts in live streaming, pulling in tens, if not hundreds of thousands of viewers at a time, helping to spread the gospel of PUBG to the masses.
To finish off the game, what's Doctor gonna do? This guy's got a sniper. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, first game of the day, first game of the year.
But for all its success, the game was still in open access alpha. The game was buggy. The graphics were subpar, and to say that the game was optimized would have been laughable. Still, the numbers speak for themselves, and the players poured in for a chance to win a chicken dinner.
Whether you play solo or in a group, successfully executing adaptive tactics makes for an incredibly tense and rewarding experience. Every player has unique stories of their most memorable matches, and even after hundreds of hours, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds keeps on giving.
While the spotlight was on PUBG, another game was beginning to gain traction. A game that was more accessible and more optimized. A game that was geared towards a younger audience and was, most importantly, free to play. Fortnite, developed by Epic Games, released on January 21st, 2017 as a base-building survival game. Announced in 2011, the game sought to combine building mechanics from games like Minecraft and Terraria with shooting and survival mechanics from games like Gears of War. During its 7 years in development, Epic saw what other studios were doing and incorporated some of that into Fortnite. One of those ideas was Battle Royale. So, on September 26, 2017, Fortnite Battle Royale came out. It was cartoonish and colorful, a departure from the DayZ-inspired realism of games prior. For new players, Fortnite was the perfect entry into the Battle Royale genre. It ran smoothly on every platform, it was appropriate for all ages, and the map was constantly being updated, changing the battleground every couple of weeks. Apart from the excellent gameplay, Fortnite also became a melting pot of popular culture. There were a number of special events that kept people coming back to the game. The mysterious meteor appearing above the map, the Infinity Gauntlet becoming an item that turned players into Thanos from the Avengers series, and the real-time DJ set from EDM artist Marshmello.
Now, let me stop this for a minute. Let me stop this. I see a lot of sleepers and ha-has and pogs and people that are like sort of like upset over this or some shit, dude. Dude, this is actually pretty crazy, man. The devs of the game cared enough to make an event that only lasts one time, that takes a lot of time to do and create and shit, right? And it's a lot of effort, dude. You fucking wish that the game that you played cared enough to do crazy shit like that.
Fortnite blurred the lines that separated video games from other forms of entertainment. Popular dances were incorporated into the game as player emotes, and players, seeing the dances in Fortnite, started to learn them in real life. Movie characters like John Wick became playable as skins, and players of all ages were playing, talking about, and consuming Fortnite. The game became so popular that it even sparked an international debate about video game addictions. People literally could not get enough of this game.
For some parents, Fortnite's popularity is now a cause for concern.
People are so into this game, and the thing that makes Fortnite so different is it's so interactive, Michael.
You see, this kind of gaming, this type of play, the World Health Organization describes it as a gamer addiction. It leads to aggressive behavior, bad relationships with those around you, including your parents.
It is so addictive. It is incredibly addictive. It has been likened to something like heroin.
Apart from engagement with the casual audience, Fortnite's high skill cap kept veteran players coming back for more. One of the most revolutionary mechanics that Fortnite introduced was building. Players would collect building materials throughout the match and use those materials to build insane fortifications. In the blink of an eye, The battlefield could change as players competed to gain the high ground, or blow up an enemy's base, or build a bridge to escape, or whatever you can imagine. Building in Fortnite created a whole new submeta within the game, one which continues to test even the best players' mechanical skills.
I don't get the feeling with Fortnite. Fortnite, it's just...
What the? This is like a fucking Home Depot convention. Look at these motherfuckers. Architect Andes, yo.
Oh, the amount of times that I have to fucking bail on aiming in general just to fucking build in this game hurts my soul.
Throughout the latter half of 2017, Fortnite had set itself up as one of the rising stars in video gaming. Going into 2018, it looked like Fortnite was going to be the biggest gaming phenomena in recent memory. It had all the momentum behind it, the Battle Royale craze, pop culture references, and a huge player base. And on March 15th, the world of video games collided with the real world, as streamer Ninja broke Twitch's concurrent viewer count with 635,000 people watching him at one time. But that night, he wasn't playing alone. That night, Ninja was joined by rappers Drake and Travis Scott and Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster. Within minutes, tens of thousands of viewers, many of whom didn't even play video games, were pouring in to see some of their favorite celebrities playing this game called Fortnite. And this one stream opened up the proverbial floodgates. The event was all over the news for days to come. Gaming sites, local television, even radio shows were talking about the game. Since its release, Fortnite has had more than 200 million unique players. It's become the highest grossing free-to-play game of all time, raking in $2.4 billion, and has imprinted itself into the next generation of gamers. And when things get as big as Fortnite did, corporations are going to take notice. Heading into 2018, the Battle Royale genre started to creep into everything. Indie titles were still rolling out with games like The Darwin Project, Realm Royale, and Islands of Nine. And as AAA developers saw the Battle Royale genre, every major release suddenly had some sort of BR mode included. Battlefield 5, Dota Underhollow, Grand Theft Auto 5, even Tetris 99 was released with Battle Royale in mind. However, the big release of 2018 would come on October 12th, from a franchise that had been on the downturn for a couple of years, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. 2018's entry into the Call of Duty franchise was a departure from what people were expecting. Treyarch made the conscious decision to omit a campaign mode from Black Ops 4, instead choosing to focus on multiplayer, zombies, and a new Battle Royale mode called Blackout. Blackout was a lot like other BRs on the market. Go in as a solo, a duo, or in a team of 4, drop somewhere on the giant map, scavenge guns, perks, and equipment, and fight to be the last alive. We've gone over this, but where the game really shone was in its polish. The movement was crisp, the gunplay was phenomenal, the graphics were top of the line, and the classic Call of Duty experience that people had come to know and love was taken to new heights. Similar to Fortnite, the map in Blackout was constantly changing, with old Call of Duty maps like Firing Range from Black Ops 1, the hijacked ship from Black Ops 2, and zombies maps like Asylum and Ghost Town being incorporated into the game as playable locations. Events like the dam breaking or snowballs around Christmas time helped to keep the game fresh, while game modes like Alcatraz and Hot Pursuit made for faster paced gameplay, appealing to a wider audience. Sure, Blackout didn't break new ground like Fortnite did with things like building, but it didn't need to. In terms of performance and fluidity, Blackout was one of the best battle royales on the market and kept people coming back. In a budding genre where everyone is competing to be the best, it seemed like Treyarch had come out on top.
Oh man, I'm trying to think what I don't like about it. But in terms of game design, the flow, the pacing, Jesus, the look of it, the skill, the engagements, it's just so good.
But Blackout's success was a diamond in the rough. Around this time, the phrase Battle Royale was beginning to turn into a dirty word. Big-name developers weren't incorporating Battle Royale modes into their titles to push the genre forward. They were just slapping it onto their games to sell more units. The Battle Royale was turning into a gimmick, and companies like DICE and Rockstar seemed to be using the game mode as a cash grab.
I feel like by the time all these Battle Royale games get developed, people will already be done with the genre.
Moving into 2019, it seemed like the Battle Royale genre may have finally peaked. Fortunately for us, however, one developer, Respawn Entertainment, had other plans. In 2016, they began quietly working on a Battle Royale game of their own, but they marketed their game a little bit differently than other AAA publishers. No ad campaigns, no teasers, no build-up. The game's marketing relied solely on Twitch influencers and word of mouth to spread the hype. On February 4th, 2019, with barely any warning, streamers like Dr. Disrespect and Shroud booted up their streams to a red screen with a countdown timer. At this point, all anyone knew was that something called Apex Legends was about to drop. Curious viewers tuning into Twitch watched in anticipation as the timer hit 0. And then...
It's impressive how much work they put in. Boom! It looks great, honestly. I've been waiting for a AAA studio to be like, all right, let's do VR right.
The release of Apex Legends, which up until a week prior to launch hadn't even been heard of outside of the studio, hit nearly 500,000 viewers on Twitch on its release day. Within 8 hours of its launch, Apex had 1 million unique players. Within 72 hours, it had 10 million, breaking the previous record held by Fortnite. And within a month, more than 50 million unique players had dropped into King's Canyon. On Twitch, the game overtook Fortnite's top spot for more than a month and earned $92 million in 30 days, breaking the 1-month record for any free-to-play game ever. But how did this game find so much success in a market where so many others failed? It's visually gorgeous, it has top-of-the-line gunplay, and it runs smoothly on every platform that it was released on. Second, let's talk about the gameplay mechanics that make it unique. Apex Legends doesn't have permadeath, and players can respawn if their banner is recovered within 90 seconds. Apex Legends has character abilities, turning it into a hero shooter similar to Overwatch. Apex Legends introduced a comprehensive ping system that lets you communicate seamlessly without the need for a microphone. Even Fortnite went as far as to adopt the ping and respawn system just a few weeks after Apex Legends released. And if Fortnite is stealing your game mechanics, you're probably doing something right. Apex Legends' launch strategy tried to minimize the potential for bad press. The worry was that the public would see that EA was publishing a Battle Royale game and dismiss it as a cash grab. But launching the game with no build-up meant that players only had gameplay and praise from their favorite streamers to go on. And because the game was free to play, all of those viewers who hadn't even heard of the game before the stream event started could download Apex and start playing as soon as they wanted to.
You can just go download it, play it, check it out. And it's really exciting for us, and I hope you guys really have fun.
The state of the Battle Royale genre throughout 2019 has been a bit quieter than the previous 3 years. No new challengers have stepped into the limelight, and with new genres like the auto battler popping up, the future of the BR is uncertain. Regardless, Fortnite, PUBG, Blackout, and Apex Legends are still among the top 20 most streamed games on Twitch, and that popularity will likely last for a little while longer. But as games flare into existence and die just as fast, now might be a good time to take bets on which of these games will be the last man standing.